So Robin, you're going to be presenting here at IHIF tomorrow, looking at the big picture for the hotel development pipeline. How are things looking in general, and are there any particular hotspots or bumpy patches along the way that you're expecting?
Sure. Well, I guess before you talk about hotel development, you need to understand the hotel performance market and outlook, because obviously new developments are really only go ahead when there's confidence in the ability of the market to continue growing. And I mean, so in that context, we're kind of at a crossroads. We've seen for the first time since 2005 Europe overtake the US in terms of rate of growth. So really, for the last 7 years, we've seen the US recovering, between 5 to 7 or up to even 10% RevPAR growth each year, and Europe's level of growth has been much lower. But coming into December, January, we've seen that Europe overtake the US, with primarily due to quite a significant decline in growth in the US markets, which is creating a lot of jitters over there. So to give you an example, if you look at RevPAR performance for the US as a whole, last year it was up 6%. And with 6% growth, you'd expect the market would be ecstatic. Most industries would be. But in reality, that performance has seen a big sell-off, particularly in listed hotel real estate stocks, some of which are down between 30 and 50% over the last 12 months. And that's really because that growth rate, which was up at 8% last year, is now 6% and is trending down, and over the last quarter is really only about 3%. And there's a lot of jitters around this being and signaling the end of the boom years and potentially the peak of the market. We're not that pessimistic yet. We still see pretty strong fundamentals in terms of, the market is running at its highest ever occupancies, and we don't see that going down. So we still think the US will have about 5% RevPAR growth this year. In contrast, in Europe, 2015 was a fantastic year. Aside from markets which had some specific challenges, so Switzerland with a strengthening currency, France with all the terrorist attacks, we really saw incredibly strong growth throughout Europe. So, in the sort of Western European parts, 5-7% growth, and as you spread further north and south, we saw double-digit growth in most places. Quite a few people are a little bit nervous because of what they've seen in the US, because of what they've seen in energy stocks and resources, but we remain pretty bullish and confident about performance in Europe this year. And so with that backdrop, we expect most markets in Europe to have a very good year, and it should support continued growth in hotel development, which at the moment is still very constrained in Europe. So, across Europe, there's only about 140,000 hotels in the pipeline. You compare that to the US, where it's more than 500,000, and Asia Pacific, where it's more than 500,000 hotel rooms in the pipeline. So, Europe's always been a tough place to grow. It remains a tough place to grow, but I think, for the moment, the performance fundamentals look optimistic for that.